Little Samson for the Nintendo Entertainment System, released in 1992 from Taito. This game is famous for being an ultra-rare, ultra-expensive release on the Nintendo Entertainment System, but it should be famous for being a very good game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Little Samson is excellent. And that surprised me because I went into this one thinking that it was just going to be one of those super expensive games that sucks, but it's expensive just because it's rare. But no, this one's actually quite fun. It's a shame that it's so expensive because more people should enjoy it. There are repro cards out there. I have no idea if this is one of them. My friend Derek sent this to the show. He said he found it at a flea market for $20. Little Samson is worth $20. I saw an unopened copy on eBay selling for $30,000. $30,000 for an NES game. You could buy a DeLorean that goes back in time and hire the development team behind TRuxton to assassinate Jar Jar for $30,000. Or at least develop TRuxton 3 for the NES. This seems like one of these games that's expensive just because it's famous for being expensive. Don't let that fool you. It's actually good. Anyway, what makes this game good is pretty much everything. For starters, unlike most side-scrolling action games from the era, you're not playing Little Samson for points, you're playing to beat the game, which, by the way, is quite challenging. You control 4 heroes on your adventure that you can choose from on the fly by hitting the start button on your NES controller. I'm playing this with the NES Advantage. Autofire comes in particularly handy when playing Little Samson. Your 4 heroes are Samson, who shoots a fireball or something. The dragon, who's on screen now, can fly a short distance, good for certain levels. There's a little mouse, which is nice for boss battles to dodge things and then bring out the big gun, the rock monster, whatever he is. Super slow, super powerful. Each character has their own musical theme, which is really cool. I'm not sure why, but this game reminds me of Shovel Knight. Or perhaps Shovel Knight reminds me of Little Samson. Not a bad thing, whichever way you go. Both good games. Little Samson's spin move is super cool. You know how much I love waterfalls in video games? We've got waterfalls, including lava waterfalls in Little Samson. As you play your way through the game, you pick up heart containers that add to your life meter, and then you fill up your life meter with little hearts. Little Samson can climb walls, so does the mouse. And the more you play, the more you'll become familiar with each character and what they're good for, so during boss battles, you can strategically stack your enemies. I like to start with the dragon, who's usually not that useful in boss battles, and go to Little Samson, do as much damage as possible, avoid things with the mouse, and then finish everything off with the rock monster guy, who I just called Thing. See, it's helpful to give Thing a lot of hearts because you can just stand him next to bosses and boss battles and punch them to death. He's great. Little Samson, so much better than I expected. I'm a big fan of everything in this game and love how you use the 4 characters to get through environments and fight boss battles. Is it worth $1,000 on eBay? Probably not. I'm sure you could find a ROM out there, or perhaps a repro. Just throw it in your Retron 5. $1,000 is a bit steep, as good as this game is. I mean, it's not as good as Bionic Commando, and that's a lot cheaper. You gotta love the lava effects in this game. They're really good. This is a late NES release, and it looks like it. They pulled out all the stops for this one. And I have an enormous Little Samson sized Classic Game Room shout out and thank you going to my friend Derek from Sulphur, Louisiana, for sending this game to the show. Little Samson. Not so little after all. If you get killed, which will happen, there's a password continue system, but you really need to start from the beginning of the game to level your characters up and collect all of the heart containers. It's a beautiful game. The music is great. It plays really well. The controls are tight. Everything about Little Samson is good, except its incredible lack of value. The only game I'm paying $1,000 for on the NES is TRuxton 3, and even then, only if it's forward compatible with the Sega 32X. Look at the background, dig his spin move. Can you put a price on lava waterfalls? You know you can't. This is one of the better side-scrollers on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Highly recommended. If you find a copy for Little Samson somewhere for $20, you buy it. Unless they have Magmax. Magmax is a really good game. Classic Game Room has been brought to you by these books on Amazon: Ultramassive Volume 1, Retro Megatracks, How to Make a Video Game Review Show That Doesn't Suck, Ethel, The Cyborg Ninja Jesus, 1 and 2, Pac-Man Collector's Guide to Definitive Review, and Ultramassive Video Game Console Guide 2 on Amazon. Welcome to the Patreon Lord Carnage Club, being shouted from a turbo volcano. Michael and Ariana Nelson, Ian Shore, Stephen Chucknick, Al Stever, Rick DeBarros, Jason Goy, Andy Schleiss, Sergio Matthias Hergert, Philip Strabenmuller, Jack Stavris, Ohad Kane, Simon Allen, and Sean Zoltek.
And Tiago Pereira dos Santos Silva from Porto, Portugal.